Good morning everybody and welcome to week 2 of home learning. I hope you've all had a lovely weekend and managed to make the most of the lovely weather, and I mean the snow and the sunshine. I think Saturday morning was one of the loveliest mornings I've seen for quite a while. I certainly had my walking boots on and made the most of that lovely day, hoping you did too. So I think we can all agree it's not quite the start we thought we were going to have to the spring term, but do you know what? We are a tough lot here at Cross Flats, and I'm pleased to say everybody dug deep, got themselves logged onto Class Dojo, and the work that was produced by the end of last week was nothing short of amazing. And I want to just share a few highlights with you, because every Monday morning I get a little bit of a breakdown of the kind of things that have been going on Class Dojo. And believe it or not, last week over 4,000 messages were sent out to our families, over 3,000 videos and photographs were shared, and the feedback that was from you to your teachers and from your teachers back to you was 100%. I'm going to show you that 100% there, look at that. So very well done, very proud of everybody, and I hope you're proud of yourselves as well. So this week we're going to have to get back to our home learning again, and I know that's not easy for some of you. I know that takes a little bit extra hard work, but I'm going to share a story with you this morning that will hopefully make you think when times get hard, I'm going to have to just dig my heels in and try a little harder. And it's called The Lion Inside. I'm sorry, that's back to front. In a dry, dusty place where the sand sparkled gold stood a mighty flat rock, all craggy and old. And under that rock, in a tiny full house, lived the littlest, quietest, meekest brown mouse. He was so very tiny, so incredibly small, that nobody noticed him, ever at all. He got trod on, and sat on, and missed out for stuff, ignored and forgotten. Yes, mouse life was tough. Meanwhile, far above on top of the rock, times were quite different. It was lion o'clock. This huge toothsome creature made sure everyone saw how important he was and how loud he could roar. He was head of the pack. He was shouty and tough. He loved showing the crowd he was made of strong stuff. Yes, all were impressed by this mighty king cat. If only, thought Mouse, I could be more like that. Then late one dark night, in his Minnie Mouse bed, the cleverest thought popped into his head. He jumped from the covers and he held up a paw. I've got it, he said. What I need is a roar. I mean, what if this mouse, with the weeniest squeak, was a little more grrr and a little less meek? Well, he'd still be the smallest of fuzzy brown mice, but he'd make friends and join in, and life would be nice. Yes, thought the mouse, I must find out how. I will learn how to roar, and I will learn it now. But, oh my gosh, there was only one beast who could teach him this thing, but might make him a feast. It was time to be strong, take a chance after all. Forever was such a long time to feel small. So he made himself brave and he thought like a winner. He set off for the top, hoping not to be dinner. It felt like the scariest thing he could do. But if you want things to change, you first have to change you. The further he climbed, the closer he got to the slumbering lion reclining on top. Then at last, as he stood on his tippity toes, he found himself suddenly nose to nose. Pardon me, wake up, Mr. Lion, you've got company. Squeak, Mr. Lion, what I've come to you for is squeak. Do you think you could teach me to roar? A silence befell on that twinkling plain. Lion opened his eyes and he puffed out his mane. Time slowed right down. Why, it felt like a week. Then he opened his mouth and he let out a eek. was shaking. His paws all a fumble. He was backing away with a scrambling tumble. "Don't hurt me," he whimpered. "Try to be nice." Well, my goodness, this lion was frightened of mice. "Don't worry," Mouse peeped. "I'm a friend, not a foe. Let's rock this together. We'll have fun, don't you know?" That was a magical moment for sure, when Mouse didn't feel at all small anymore. He had found his true voice and learned to speak out. And for that, you don't need to roar or shout. And from that day and always, the two were a pair. They both liked that rock better, now that rock was to share. The mouse, while still little, felt big in his head. And Lion, he roared, but with laughter instead. Yes, that day they both learned that no matter your size, we all have a mouse and a lion inside. Now, I know these next couple of weeks might be a little bit tricky for some of you. Some of you might be thinking, fantastic, I love being at home and I love doing my own learning. Some of you might be thinking, I really don't like this at all. But what I need you to do is when it gets a little bit tricky and you feel like it's getting too hard, dig really deep inside and see if you can find your line inside, because I know for a fact that every single one of you has them. And I also know for a fact that every teacher at Cross Glass Primary School only ever wants you to try your best. So if you get yourself logged on at 9 o'clock in the morning and you do all your work, then that's fabulous. If you have a little bit of a tricky start and you don't get logged on till 10, it's fine. And if you have a really tricky morning and you just can't get your head in the right place and you don't get started until lunchtime, do you know what? That is okay as well. Don't worry about it. All you need to do is the best you possibly can, and that is more than good enough for me, and I know that's more than good enough for your teachers as well. See if you can find that lion and bring him to the forefront. Let's hear your voice. Let's hear your roar. Now, it might be a while before I see you again, but I will be checking out all the work that you are doing on Class Dojo. So I will have a look through your pages today and see if I can find some bits and pieces that I might bring to my next assembly and share for everybody. So until I see you, take care, stay safe, look after yourself and your family, and do the very best that you can do. And that will be more than good enough for me. Okay. Bye-bye now for now, everybody. You take care of yourselves.